Elena Martinez weaved her motorcycle through downtown traffic, the delivery bag bouncing against her back with each pothole. The GPS showed 12 minutes to reach Blackstone Industries, and being late wasn't an option. The glass tower loomed, ahead like a monument to corporate success. She parked and grabbed the insulated bag containing someone's overpriced lunch. The marble lobby gleamed with fountains that probably cost more than her monthly rent. At the reception desk, she announced her delivery for the 47th floor. The penthouse? The receptionist's eyebrows rose. That's unusual. Mr. Blackstone typically doesn't order delivery? The elevator ride felt endless. When the doors opened, Elena was greeted by floor-to-ceiling windows offering a breathtaking city view. An assistant in an expensive suit approached. "You can leave it with me," she said dismissively. "Sorry, but I need a signature from whoever ordered it," Elena replied, checking her phone. "Adrian Blackstone. That's impossible. He's been in meetings all day." Just then, conference room doors burst open. Several frustrated executives filed out, followed by a man who made Elena's breath catch. Adrian Blackstone was tall with dark hair, sharp green eyes, and the kind of jawline that belonged in magazines. His sleeves were rolled up, tie loosened, looking exhausted, until his eyes found hers. "Who ordered lunch?" he asked, his voice deep and slightly rough. Elena held up the bag. "That would be you, apparently." "I didn't order anything." He approached her, close enough that she could smell his expensive cologne. "Someone using your name and credit card did. Look, I just need you to sign so I can get out of your fancy tower." A smile tugged at his mouth. "Fancy tower? No offense, but this place screams I have more money than sense." The assistant gasped, but Adrian laughed genuinely. "You're not wrong. What's your name?" "Elena." "And you're Adrian Blackstone, tech billionaire and apparently lunch mystery solver." He signed the pad, their fingers brushing as he handed it back. The contact sent an unexpected jolt through her. "So, Elena, what's in the bag?" She peered inside. "Quinoa salad and a sandwich made with bread that probably costs more than my motorcycle." "Payment. Sounds terrible. Want to split it?" Elena blinked. "I'm starving, and I'm curious about lunch worth 47 floors of elevator travel. You can't be serious. Dead serious." He glanced at his wide-eyed assistant. "Cancel my next meeting, Rebecca. I'm having lunch." "But sir, the Tokyo investors are calling in 20 minutes. They can wait. This is more important." Elena felt heat creep up her neck. "Look, I appreciate the offer, but I have 6 more deliveries before 5. And I can't afford to waste time playing lunch date with someone who probably thinks poor people are a different species." His expression darkened. "Is that what you think of me? I don't know you well enough to think anything. But guys like you don't invite delivery girls to lunch unless they want something. Maybe I just want to get to know the woman who called my life's work a monument to excess." Despite herself, Elena smiled. "Fine, 20 minutes, but I'm keeping the meter running." Adrian led Elena to his private office, surprisingly warm despite its size. One wall was entirely windows with an incredible view. They unpacked the lunch on his desk, and Elena was surprised by how delicious the salad actually was. "Tell me about yourself," Adrian said, leaning back in his chair. "Not much to tell. I deliver food, live in a studio apartment smaller than your bathroom, and work 3 jobs to pay for night school." "What are you studying? Business management?" "Ironic, considering my current career path." "Not ironic. Smart. You're learning from the ground up." Elena paused, fork halfway to her mouth. "You're not what I expected." "What did you expect? Someone more like those guys in the meeting? Stuffy, entitled, probably hasn't done an honest day's work in his life?" Adrian was quiet for a moment. "My first job was cleaning offices at night while I went to community college. I know what it's like to work 3 jobs just to survive." "Really?" "I built my first company in my garage with money I saved from those cleaning jobs. It took me 10 years to get here." Lena studied his face, looking for signs he was lying. "So what happened to that scrappy kid who cleaned offices? Grew up, got successful, started wearing expensive suits and eating quinoa salads. Sounds boring, it is, until today." The way he said it made her stomach flutter. "Why today?" "Because today a beautiful woman called my life boring and made me realize she was right. Elena's cheeks heated. I never said you were boring. You implied it beautifully. She laughed despite herself. You're impossible. We finished eating in comfortable silence, stealing glances at each other. When Elena checked her phone, she realized an hour had passed. I have to go, she said, standing quickly. I'm way behind schedule. Adrian stood too, moving around the desk toward her. Elena, wait. She paused at the door. What? Have dinner with me tonight. I can't. I work nights at a restaurant. And because this, she gestured between them, whatever this is, it's complicated. The best things usually are. Elena shook her head. You live in a different world, Adrian? You eat $40 salads for lunch. I eat ramen for dinner 3 nights a week. Money doesn't matter. It's easy for you to say when you have it. He stepped closer, close enough that she could see flecks of gold in his green eyes. You're right, I'm sorry. That was thoughtless. His honesty caught her off guard. It's fine. No, it's not. I've been wealthy for so long. I forget what it was like before. But I remember working 2 jobs and eating nothing but peanut butter. Sandwiches for weeks. Elena's resolve wavered. One dinner somewhere casual, my treat. Consider it payment for the business consultation. What consultation? You just spent an hour telling me everything wrong with my corporate image. That's worth at least a meal. Despite her better judgment, Elena found herself smiling. You're persistent. One of my more charming qualities. I didn't say it was. Charming. You implied it beautifully. She laughed, and the sound seemed to light up his whole face. Fine, one dinner. But somewhere normal people eat. Deal. He pulled out his phone.
What's your number?
As she gave it to him, their fingers brushed when he handed the phone back. The contact lasted longer, and Elena felt that same electric jolt. I'll pick you up at 7, he said. I'll meet you wherever we're going. I'm not getting in a car with someone I just met, no matter how good-looking he is. His smile was devastating. You think I'm good-looking? I think you're trouble. The best kind, I hope. She shook her head, but she was smiling as she opened the door. Text me the address. Already planning to. As Elena walked toward the elevator, she could feel his eyes on her. When she turned back, he was standing. In his doorway, hands in his pockets, watching her with an expression that made her heart race. Elena stood outside Rossetti's at exactly 7, second-guessing her outfit. She'd changed 3 times before settling on dark jeans, a soft green sweater, and her nicest boots. The restaurant was perfect, exactly the kind of place she might have chosen herself. Not too fancy, but clean and welcoming. Elena. She turned to find Adrian walking toward her, and her breath caught. He'd traded his expensive suit for dark jeans and a gray sweater that hugged his broad shoulders. He looked younger, more approachable, but no less devastating. You clean up nice, she said, trying to keep her tone light. I was about to say the same about you. You look beautiful. Heat rose in her cheeks. Thank you. They were seated at a corner table with soft lighting and enough privacy to talk. The menu was reasonably priced with comfort food that actually sounded appealing. How did you find this place? Elena asked. I grew up about 6 blocks from here. My mom used to bring me here for special occasions when we could afford it. Your mom was a single parent? Dad left when I was 8. She worked 2 jobs to keep us afloat. Adrian shrugged. It's made me tougher, made me appreciate what I have now. The waiter took their order, and Elena was surprised when Adrian ordered a beer instead of wine. Everything about this felt more real than she'd expected. Tell me about your 3 jobs, he said. Days I deliver food, evenings I wait tables at Marco's downtown. Weekends I clean offices. When do you sleep? When? When do you sleep, Touche? Suppose we're both workaholics. The difference is, you chose to be. I have to be. Adrian was quiet for a moment. You're right. Stop apologizing. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not offering pity. I'm offering respect. Their eyes met across the table, and Elena felt that. Same electric connection. Why? Because you're working your ass off to build something better for yourself. That takes guts. Lots of people work hard. Not like you, I can tell. Their food arrived and conversation flowed easily as they ate. When Adrian asked about her plans after school, Elena's eyes lit up. I want to start my own business. Something small, maybe a catering company or food truck. I love cooking, and I'm good with people. What's stopping you? Money? Credit? The fact that banks don't exactly line up to give loans to delivery drivers? Have you written a business plan? Elena laughed. I've written 17 business plans, revised them constantly. Can I see one? Why? Because I invest in small businesses sometimes. Good ideas, good people. Elena set down her fork. Adrian? No what? I'm not going to be your charity case. His expression hardened. Is that what you think this is? Rich guy meets poor girl, decides to save her? Isn't it you think that's what I'm doing? I don't know what you're doing. That's the problem. Adrian was quiet for a long moment. When he looked up, his eyes were serious. When I was 12, my mom got laid off right before Christmas. We had no money, no savings, nothing. I remember her crying in the bathroom, thinking I couldn't hear her. Elena's chest tightened. The next day, our neighbor showed up with groceries and presents. Said someone had paid him to deliver them anonymously. We never found out who. That's different. Someone saw that we needed help and found a way to give it without making us feel small. That's not charity, Elena, that's community. Elena stared at him. So what are you saying? I'm saying that if your business plan is good, I might want to invest. Not because I feel sorry for you, but because I believe in you. You don't even know me. I know enough. I know you're smart, driven, and honest enough to call me out when I'm being an idiot. Elena felt something shift inside her chest. This is crazy. The best things usually are. After dinner, Adrian walked her to her motorcycle. The night air was cool, and Elena shivered slightly. Cold? He asked, stepping closer a little, shrugged out of his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. The gesture was simple, but it made Elena's heart race. They stood in the glow of the streetlight, neither wanting to end the evening. Elena knew she should say goodbye, get on her bike, and go home. This was getting too complicated, too intense, too fast. Instead, she found herself stepping closer to him. Elena, Adrian said softly, his hands coming up to frame her face. This is a bad idea, she whispered. Probably we're from different worlds. Does it matter? Before she could answer, he leaned down and kissed her. It was soft at first, tentative, giving her the chance to pull away. When she didn't, he deepened the kiss, and Elena felt like the world tilted on its axis. When they finally broke apart, Elena was breathless. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I should go, she said, but made no move to step away. Should you? My early shift starts at 6. It's cruel and unusual punishment. She laughed, breaking some of the tension. Welcome to the real world. I'm starting to like the real world. Elena reluctantly stepped back and handed him his jacket. Their fingers brushed, and she felt that same electric jolt. Good night, Adrian. Good night, Elena. She got on her bike and started the engine. Before she pulled away, she looked back at him. He was standing under the streetlight, hands in, his pockets, watching her with an expression that made her chest ache. As she drove home, Elena couldn't stop thinking about the way he'd kissed her, the way he'd looked at her like she was the most important thing in the world. Her phone buzzed with a text. Sweet dreams, Elena. Thank you for the best evening I've had in years. She stared at the message until the traffic light turned green, then put her phone away and drove home with a smile she couldn't shake. Elena couldn't concentrate on work the next day. Every delivery reminded her of meeting Adrian. Every corporate building made her think about his office, his smile, the way he'd kissed her under the streetlight. She was delivering lunch to a law firm when her phone rang. Adrian's name appeared on the screen and her heart skipped. Hello, Elena, it's Adrian. Am I interrupting anything important? Just saving the world one overpriced sandwich at a time? He laughed. Listen, I have a proposition for you. Should I be nervous? Maybe? Are you free Saturday evening? Elena checked her mental schedule. I work until 9. Perfect. There's a small business networking event at the Meridian Hotel. Nothing too fancy, just local entrepreneurs and some investors. I think you'd enjoy it. Adrian, I can't afford. It's not about affording anything. It's about connections. You want to start your own business? This is how you do it. You meet people, you learn, you get your name out there. Elena pulled over to the curb, needing to focus on this conversation. Why are you doing this? Because I believe in you, and because I'd like to see you again. I don't have anything to wear to a networking event. Wear what you wore last night, you looked perfect. Adrian, Elena, trust me, these aren't stuffy corporate types. They're people who started with nothing and built something. They'll respect what you're doing. Elena was quiet for a moment. What if I don't fit in? You will. But if you don't, we'll leave and go get pizza. Despite herself, she smiled. Promise? Promise. I'll pick you up at 9:30. I'll meet you there. Elena, I'll meet you there, Adrian. Text me the address. Saturday evening, Elena stood outside the Meridian Hotel, smoothing her sweater nervously. Through the windows, she could see people mingling, and they looked more approachable than she'd expected. Still, her stomach churned with anxiety. You look beautiful, Adrian's voice came from behind her. She turned to find him in a navy blazer and dark jeans, striking the perfect balance between professional and casual. You sure about this? Absolutely. Come on. Inside, the event was smaller and more intimate than Elena had imagined. Adrian introduced her to several people, and she was surprised by how genuine they seemed. A woman named Sarah had started a food truck empire from a single cart. A man named Marcus had built a successful catering business from his grandmother's recipes. This is Elena, Adrian said, introducing her to a small group. She's planning to start her own food service business. What kind? Sarah asked, genuinely. Interested? I'm still deciding between catering and a food truck. I want to focus on affordable, healthy meals for working people. That's a great niche, Marcus said. There's definitely demand for it. Elena found herself relaxing, drawn into conversations about business plans, permits, and startup costs. These people understood her world, her challenges, her dreams. You're a natural at this, Adrian said during a quiet moment. I can't believe how normal everyone is. What did you expect? Honestly, people like the ones in your office building. All suits and condescension. These are my people, Elena. The ones who remember what it was like to struggle. Later, as they walked toward the parking garage, Elena felt energized in a way she hadn't in months. Thank you, she said. That was amazing. I told you you'd fit in. Sarah seemed really interested in your business plan. She said she might be able to help with suppliers if I go the catering route. This is how it works. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. They reached Elena's motorcycle, and she turned to face him. Adrian, I need to ask you something. Anything. Are you doing this because you feel sorry for me, or because you actually think I can succeed? He stepped closer, his expression serious. Elena, I've met hundreds of entrepreneurs. Most of them had money, connections, or both. You have something? Better. What's that? Fire, determination, the kind of hunger that can't be bought or inherited. He reached out and touched her cheek gently. I'm not helping you because I feel sorry for you. I'm helping you because I see what you could become. Elena felt tears prick her eyes. What if I fail? Then you'll try again. That's what entrepreneurs do. What if I succeed and outgrow you? Adrian smiled. Then I'll be the proudest man in the world. Standing there in the parking garage, Elena realized she was falling for him. Not just because he was handsome or successful, but because he saw her potential when she could barely see it herself. Adrian, she whispered. Yeah, thank you for believing in me. He leaned down and kissed her, and this time, Elena didn't hesitate. She kissed him back with all the gratitude, hope, and growing love she felt. When they broke apart, they were both breathing hard. I should go, she said reluctantly. Should you? Yes, before I do something crazy like invite you back to my tiny apartment. Would that be so crazy? Elena looked at him, at the way he was looking at her like she was the most important thing in the world, and made a decision that would change everything. Follow me home, Adrian Blackstone. His smile was radiant. Yes, ma'am. As they left the parking garage, Elena felt like she was driving toward a future she'd never dared to imagine. For the first time in years, she wasn't just surviving, Joe's living. 6 months later, Elena stood in the kitchen of her new catering facility, supervising the preparation of meals for a corporate event. The space was modest but efficient, with industrial-grade equipment and a team of 6 employees who shared her vision of providing healthy, affordable food to working people. "Boss, the Meridian Hotel order is ready for pickup," called Marcus, who'd left his own catering business to become her head chef. "Perfect. And the lunch delivery for Blackstone Industries? Already on its way?" Elena smiled. Adrian had become her biggest client, ordering lunch for his entire office 3 times a week. He claimed it was because the food was exceptional, but Elena suspected it was his way of supporting her business. The bell above the door chimed, and Adrian walked in carrying a bouquet of wildflowers. Even after all these months, Elena's heart still skipped when she saw him. "To what do I owe the pleasure, Mr. Blackstone? Can a man visit his favorite chef? Your favorite chef is currently covered in flour and smells like garlic." "My favorite everything," he corrected, kissing her cheek. "How is the city council?" "Meeting." Elena's face lit up. "They approved the food truck permits. I can start serving lunch in business districts next month." "That's incredible. I'm so proud of you. I couldn't have done it without you." The introduction to Sarah, the networking event, the initial investment. Elena, stop. You did this. I just opened a few doors. You walked through them. It was true. While Adrian had provided the startup capital, Elena had written the business plan, secured the permits, hired the staff, and built the client base. In 6 months, she'd transformed from a struggling delivery driver to a successful entrepreneur. "Speaking of investments," she said, walking to her desk and pulling out a check. "Your first dividend payment." Adrian looked at the check and smiled. "You're 2 months ahead of schedule. What can I say? I'm good at what I do. You're incredible at what you do." Elena's phone buzzed with a text from her evening job. She'd finally been able to quit cleaning offices, but she still waited tables 3 nights a week while her business grew. "I have to get to Marco's," she said, untying her apron. "Actually, about that," Adrian's tone was suddenly serious. "There's something I need to tell you." Elena's stomach dropped. "What?" "I talked to Marco yesterday. I bought him out." "You what?" "I bought the restaurant. I'm giving it to you." Elena stared at him. "Adrian, you can't just buy me a restaurant. I'm not giving it to you. I'm selling it to you for $1. That's the same thing." "Elena, you've been talking for months about wanting to expand into a full restaurant. Marco was ready to retire. This solves both problems." Elena sat down heavily in her desk chair. "Can't accept this." "Why not?" "Because it's too much." "Because I haven't earned it." Because you're scared." Elena looked up at him, terrified. Adrian knelt beside her chair. "Do you remember what you told me the first day we met? That my building was a monument to excess?" "I remember. You were right. I was hiding behind my money, using it to keep people at a distance. But you changed that. You showed me that real success isn't about how much you have, it's about what you do with it." Elena felt tears in her eyes. "Adrian, I'm not trying to buy you, Elena. I'm trying to build something with you. A restaurant. A business. A life. A life." Adrian reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Elena's breath caught. "I know this is fast. I know we come from different worlds. But I also know that 6 months ago, I was a lonely billionaire eating overpriced salads in a glass tower. Now I'm a man who's found his purpose, his partner, his future." He opened the box to reveal a simple, elegant ring. "Elena Martinez, will you marry me?" Elena looked at the ring, then at Adrian, then at the bustling kitchen around them. This was her world now, not the poverty she'd grown up in, but not the empty luxury of Adrian's old life either. This was something they'd built together, something real and meaningful. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, yes." She laughed, throwing her arms around his neck. "Yes, I'll marry you. Yes, I'll buy your restaurant for $1. Yes to all of it." Adrian slipped the ring onto her finger, and Elena marveled at how perfectly it fit, like everything else about their relationship. It was unexpected, but somehow inevitable. "Elena, I love you too, Adrian." As they kissed in the middle of her bustling kitchen, with the sounds of sizzling pans and chopping knives around them, Elena realized that sometimes the most extraordinary love stories begin with the most ordinary moments. A wrong delivery. A shared lunch. A chance encounter that changes everything. 1 year later, Elena stood in the dining room of Elena's kitchen, watching Adrian chat with customers while their 6-month-old daughter slept in her arms. The restaurant was thriving, the catering business was expanding, and Elena had just signed a deal to open 3 more locations. "Busy night," said Sarah, who'd become both a business partner and a close friend. "The best kind," Elena replied, adjusting little Sophia's blanket. I never thought I'd see Adrian Blackstone washing dishes." Elena looked toward the kitchen where Adrian was indeed helping with cleanup, sleeves rolled up and his hair slightly mussed. "He's full of surprises. You both are." "Who would have thought that a missed delivery would lead to all this?" Elena smiled, thinking about that day 6 months ago when she'd walked into a glass tower to deliver lunch to a stranger. She'd been just trying to make ends meet, working 3 jobs and dreaming of something better. Now she was living a life she'd never dared to imagine. "Sometimes the best things happen when you least expect them," she said. Adrian appeared at her side, wiping his hands on a dish towel. "Everything okay?" "Perfect," Elena said, leaning into him. Absolutely perfect." As they stood together in their restaurant, surrounded by the life they'd built together, Elena knew that every struggle, every late night, every moment of doubt had been worth it. She'd found her purpose, her partner, and her place in the world. And it had all started with one elevator ride to the 47th floor. The India liked this video. If the story touched your heart, subscribe for more emotional tales. And share with someone who believes in the power of true love. And let us know in the comments. We love connecting with our global community of romance lovers.